Malacanang has released the Maharlika Fund's final implementing rules and regulations. The United States stands with the Philippines. It's after the latest water cannon incident in the West Philippine Sea. And oil firms are expected to implement another round of fuel price rollbacks next week. Fast, focused, and fearless, here is a roundup of the stories we're watching now. I'm Danny Laurel. We begin the newscast with the palace releasing the revised Implementing Rules and Regulations, or the IRR, of the Maharlika Investment Fund Act. Now, this document was posted on the official Gazette. That was this morning. Among the revisions in the IRR is giving the president the authority to accept or reject the advisory body's recommendation that's regarding the nominees for Maharlika Corporation's president and chief executive officer. The president may also request for more nominees from the advisory body. President Bongbong Marcos had earlier ordered the suspension of the fund's implementation pending further study. It was signed into law last July. Now, House Speaker Martin Romualdez says the Congress will increase the allocation for defense in the 2024 national budget. Romualdez noted that the allocation for the defense sector next year is 282 billion pesos. That's 21% higher than last year's 203 billion. He added the fund will support land, air, and naval forces' defense programs as well as the UN peacekeeping mission, among others. The speaker's remarks coincide with the country's most recent encounter with China in the West Philippine Sea that involves Beijing firing a water cannon at a Philippine supply vessel.
This allocation demonstrates our dedication to maintaining a strong and credible defense posture, one that sends a clear message that we will not compromise when it comes to safeguarding our national interests.
The United States reiterates its support for the Philippines. It's after China's latest act of aggression in the WPS. In a statement, the U.S. Office of the Spokesperson said Washington stands by Manila in the face of Beijing's, quote, repeated harassment in the disputed waters. It added that China's actions are inconsistent with international law, citing the 2016 Hague ruling that invalidated Beijing's claims over the entirety of the South China Sea. The office also reaffirmed the U.S.'s commitment to its mutual defense treaty with the Philippines. In other news, one expert expects the Philippine economy to expand further in the last quarter of 2023. RCBC's chief economist Michael Ricafort noted that economic activities in the country have picked up. In fact, Ricafort added the country's third quarter gross domestic product would have been higher if it weren't for high inflation. The GDP last quarter grew by 5.9%, faster than the 4.3% growth in the second quarter.
Ngayon naman, nag-pick up na po pag third quarter. Kasi piniprepare po yung fourth quarter, yung holiday season. Yan po kasi yung pinakamalaking spending. Had it not been for the increase in rice prices, ang naambag niya kasi essentially nasa 1.2 percentage points. Ang inflation natin na 4.9%, had it not been for the increase in rice prices, dapat nasa 3.7% lang. Eh, di ba nakaambag din yung pagtaas ng presyo ng langis?
Now with this, Ricafort sees the Philippine economy expanding by at least 6.5% in the last quarter of the year.
Halos wala pong malaking bagyo mula noong Oktubre. Kaya biglang yung inflation bumaba din. Bumaba na rin po yung world price ng rice. Hopefully, masustain yan. Ito, Nobyembre, Disyembre.
We'll be back with more stories after this break. Keep it here on One News. And you're back watching One News Now. I'm Dani Laurel. Heads up motorists, a rollback in the prices of fuel products is expected next week. Unioil Philippines projects diesel would be cheaper by up to 3 pesos per liter. Gasoline prices are likewise seen to go down by as much as 70 centavos per liter. If realized, this would be the third consecutive week of rollbacks for diesel and the second for gasoline. Oil companies will announce official price adjustments on Monday, which will take effect the next day. Transport network company Joyride enters the taxi market with its super taxi service. Laila Pangilinan with the details.
The first and only homegrown super app, Joyride, is seeking to bring back the glory days of the taxi industry with the launching of its super taxi. Taking inspiration from Japanese taxis, Joyride Senior Vice President for Corporate Affairs Noli Iyala says their cab will be pioneering the next generation taxi services in the country.
So ito ang naging inspirasyon nitong Joyride Super Taxi. Principally, para madagdagan ng options ang ating commuting public. Pangalawa, mapaganda and of course mapadami pa ang mga taxi.
Iyala notes that the number of franchise applications for taxis in the Philippines has significantly gone down. With this, they hope that Joyride could revive the industry.
Nakita namin na siguro it's time for us to bring back the glory days of the taxi. No? And one way is really to introduce a tinatawag naming disruptive element. So ito parang disruption to ng taxi.
The 5-seater super taxi sports a sleek black exterior, high roofing, and a modern digital top light. It also has additional onboard amenities including an in-cabin infotainment system. Meanwhile, to assure the safety of passengers and drivers, the super taxi is equipped with a camera inside the vehicle that records everything while in transit. Iyala also assures that their drivers underwent a rigorous training and a series of orientations and seminars.
Ang mga magmamaneho ng aming super taxi dumaan na sa mga tests and we are certain that they are both physically, psychologically, and emotionally capable.
The official adds that the public can enjoy all the super taxi's features without any fare increase. This as the service will still be classified as a regular metered taxi. Commuters can also hail it on the street, aside from booking a cab through the app. With the Christmas season fast approaching, Iyala says the super taxis will be a great addition to the options of commuters. For their part, the MMDA, LTO, and LTFRB agree that having an upgraded and modern version of a cab is a game changer.
I hope it would inspire other taxi industry operators to follow the footsteps of Joyride and likewise modernize and upgrade their services for the benefit of the riding public.
Yung mga TNBS, they have to rethink their strategy because this idea of Joyride is really something na yung mga pasahero natin makikinabang.
Joyride has launched an initial 25 units of super taxi in Metro Manila. The company plans to increase its fleet next year. For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again tomorrow as we monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Dani Laurel. We are One News.